Welcome to Friday, and the wrestling landscape looks pretty awful this morning. Let's waste no more time and go straight to the headlines. WWE comments on the Jordan Devlin abuse allegations. David Starr has been stripped of his World Heavyweight Championship titles. And the hashtag speaking out trends worldwide on social media. Since yesterday, there have been tens of allegations made against people within not just the British wrestling industry, but around the wrestling world. And that is a number that continues to go up as well. Whilst many haven't been named, these allegations range from harassment and emotional manipulation all the way through to assault, physical and sexual. One of those names with allegations against them this morning is NXT UK star Jordan Devlin. Following an allegation of abuse, WWE commented by saying that they take allegations like this very seriously and are looking into the matter. At time of recording, Jordan Devlin is yet to comment. David Starr has had multiple allegations made of abusive behaviour against him, and as a result of this, we have seen OTT Wrestling, TNT Wrestling and Southside Wrestling strip David Starr of their respective World Championship belts, all three going to social media to say those titles are now vacated. David Starr's allegations come from numerous people who all claim emotional and physical abuse from David Starr. David commented on the allegations, denying that he was a predator, but admitting to causing emotional and mental pain. He has since deactivated his social media account. Following on from all of this, the hashtag speaking out started trending worldwide as brave people came forward to share their stories of surviving harassment and abuse in the British wrestling industry and the wrestling industry around the world. Here at Cultaholic, we commend those who have come forward and shared their stories. An unbelievably difficult thing to do, but something that will make the wrestling world a much, much better place for it. Major changes, which should have happened a long time ago, now need to come in. Over the course of the day, maybe into the weekend and into next week, you are gonna hear a lot of stories and see a lot of allegations about people, maybe some of your favorites, maybe some of your favorite promotions, and it's gonna be really uncomfortable. But you know what? Some of the most important conversations that we need to have right now as a society are incredibly uncomfortable ones. And I cannot commend enough those amazingly brave people who have come forward and shared their stories. Obviously, when we know more, you will know more about it as well. We'll have more details throughout the day on our Twitter at Cultaholic and at cultaholic.com. Meanwhile, this Monday on Raw, we have a championship match that's been announced as Asuka will defend the Raw Women's title against one of her greatest adversaries in Charlotte Flair. Quite nervous about this one, as I feel like every time Asuka gets into the ring with Charlotte, she gets owned. It was the Go Home episode of Raw for Backlash where Charlotte pinned Asuka in a non-title match. And of course, we go all the way back to WrestleMania, where we saw Charlotte beating Asuka and ending her undefeated streak. And with Charlotte being so popular at the moment, with people behind the scenes at WWE, I can't help but feel they might just switch and put the belt on her, and that makes me a little bit sad. I hope not. I don't think we've seen the best of Asuka as Raw Women's Champion yet. It's yet to be seen. It's going to be a very title-heavy night on Raw, actually. As well as Asuka defending the belt against Charlotte, we're going to see the WWE Raw tag titles on the line. Street Profits facing Viking Raiders in the final of the Anything You Can Do, We Can Do Better series, which is a wrestling match. What a concept. And the WWE Women's Tag Team titles are on the line as well, as Bayley and Sasha Banks defend against the Iconics. It was this past Wednesday that Bayley and Banks went to NXT and had one heck of a match against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. I'm hoping that they can continue that momentum when they get to Monday Night Raw against the Iconics. Brian Cage was on Vicky Guerrero's podcast talking about making the move from Impact to AEW. He talks about a lot of the regrets that he has with his time in Impact Wrestling. And he says, I suffered a couple of injuries last year in Impact. I hurt my back and my hip. That was the first one. I worked through it. It was persistent. I won the world title there. I didn't get to compete a lot. Coming back into it, I was having a lot of great matches there. People kept talking to me like I was super injury prone. There is a difference between being hurt and being injured. A lot of us are always hurt. I said I never have to have surgery in my entire career, no matter what injury I had. That was 3 days before I tore my bicep. It was awful. I was freaking out about it because it was the day before my last match at the pay-per-view at Impact. Now, what am I going to do? No one is going to sign me off if I have to have surgery. I wanted to go to AEW. I was getting offers from many places, and I had 2 different doctors tell me I didn't have to have surgery and I would be fine. I got an MRI anyway, just in case. Once my contract lapsed with Impact, I was talking to All Elite Wrestling. I was talking to Tony Khan, and everything was looking good. I got an offer. I signed it. And when I talked to Tony, he said, don't worry about it. Take your time. Heal up. We want you to be part of the team. That's a great show of respect from Tony Khan to Brian Cage. I'm really gutted that Cage's Impact run didn't go as well as anyone hoped it would. He did suffer a couple of knockbacks during his time there. I genuinely think he could have been a guy that could have done more great things in Impact had he not suffered a whole run of injuries. But regardless of that, he's in AEW now. Big match against Moxley at Fyter Fest coming up. I think he's going to right a lot of wrongs when he gets to the top of the card. I'm excited for him. Some more quiet trading going on the WWE side of things. So we know Mustafa Ali has moved to Monday Night Raw. WrestleVotes have also reported that Dolph Ziggler is moving to Raw as part of the AJ Styles trade to SmackDown. It's like a 2-for-1, I guess. Dolph Ziggler moving to Raw is a nice fresh start for Dolph. He's had some good stuff with Otis over the last couple of weeks. I eventually enjoyed the stuff he was doing with Robert Roode as well, but that seems as if that's now disappeared, what with Robert Roode not being a part of WWE tapings for the time being. Not sure when we'll see Robert Roode back at TV again. So it's a nice fresh start for Dolph. I feel like there's some good matches that he could still have on Monday Night Raw. He's one of them, isn't he, Dolph Ziggler, where it just feels like every time he moves somewhere, it feels like this is the time. This is the time we will see Dolph Ziggler rise to the very top. I feel like this has been the time for Dolph about 4 billion times at this point. But there is some really fun matches that he could be having on Monday nights when he shuffles over that way. So I'm positive, I'm optimistic that Dolph could still do some good things when he gets over to Monday Night Raw. And finally, following on from the Dark Side of the Ring episode, all about his final days, we are now getting a full-length documentary about the life and times of Owen Hart. Simply entitled Owen, Kaleidoscope Film Distribution made the announcement at Cannes that Owen Hart is going to get the entire documentary treatment, and I'm really up for this. It's going to feature new interviews from friends and family of Owen Hart. It's going to feature new interviews with Bret the Hitman Hart as well, and it's going to feature family footage that we've never seen before. So we're going to get a little bit more behind the scenes on the life of Owen Hart, which I'm really keen to see. The Dark Side of the Ring episode brought a whole new generation of people to discover Owen Hart, which is great. I know younger people who hadn't been familiar with the work of Owen Hart, who watched the Dark Side of the Ring episode on his last days and have since been onto the WWE Network and discovered loads of Owen Hart matches and realised what you and I know already, that Owen Hart is an absolute force as a wrestler, always was. And I'm now excited to see this documentary come out, because we spend so much time thinking of the way that Owen Hart passed, and we don't talk enough about the way he lived and the incredible life that he had. And I'm excited to see it celebrated in documentary form very soon. More names involved in this documentary are to be announced very soon, and when we know more about it, of course, you will know more about it as well. And that will do it for your Cultaholic Wrestling News for Friday. I kind of dreaded this bit. I normally like to sign off on a Friday with something whimsical and light and stay safe, love you, bye, and all that stuff. But everything feels quite heavy today for obvious reason. I want to commend the amazing people that have come forward and spoken out against appalling things in the wrestling industry. You are braver than I'll ever know, and braver than I'll ever be. And you have nothing but love and support and an army of people behind you when you speak out against people like this. And it's going to be a long time before everything heals. It may never properly heal, but I'm glad these people are being found and shone a light on. John Pollock on Post Wrestling said sunlight is the best disinfectant. I think that's an amazing saying. It's very powerful for right now. I want you to hold on to the fact that there will never not be good people. And it feels like right now there are no good people. It feels like all these people that we hold in high regard have got skeletons in the closet, and the truth is they're all wearing masks. But they'll never not be good people. Just as things feel the worst, there's always people out there doing the best. I promise you, there will never not be good people. If you can hold on to one thing over the weekend, there will never not be good people. Love you, bye.